Hello and welcome. This video is brought to you by the StreamingAdvisor.com. Tailor your entertainment with streaming. The streaming world has changed a lot over the last couple of years, but the biggest change we've really noticed is that things are solidifying and consolidating. One of the biggest mergers that's happened ever in television was the merger between Warner Brothers and Discovery Networks, creating Warner Brothers Discovery. That changed the main app for HBO from what we used to call HBO Max, and before that HBO Now and HBO Go, to its newest incarnation, Max. You'll see that if you look for something like HBO Max, it's no longer available out there. But all of that content and more is within the Max app. And most recently, Max has added totally new features that people maybe weren't even expecting when it first came out. So we're going to open up the new Max channel and show you sort of a feel for how it's different now than it ever has been before. Jumping in, you'll see that if you were familiar with Max before, it's similar enough. Still says Max up in the corner instead of HBO Max, but the menu on the left side, though, has changed. There used to be a lot of stuff, a whole lot of hubs and different choices. They've made it much more minimalistic. As you start scrolling down the main home page, though, you immediately see what's happening here. The live and upcoming section is all sports, and sports has never been a part of Max or HBO Max before, at least not live sports. But through the Bleacher Report add-on that they're working on, you're now going to be able to watch things like NBA basketball, Major League Baseball in season, and NHL hockey. They have moved all of their sections down here with the brand spotlights to the home page instead of having a little hub of different things. Right? I guess they were more like hubs, but either which way. Now if you want to find things from Turner Classic Movies, for instance, or just what they call the Turner section, it's in its own section down here midway through the home page, and you can see everything from the Superman movies and the Godzilla movies to like the pure classics like Gone with the Wind and The Wizard of Oz. There's a whole lot of properties that Max tries to put together so that you can find everything easily. And it's quite a chore, really, to combine so many different brands. But the brand spotlight is the more traditional way to bounce around so that you don't have to find, a home show in the same listing as something like Bill Maher or something like that. So, brand spotlight is your friend. I hope that they don't take that feature out at any point. Now you'll notice, like we said before, HBO and Discovery are now under the same rooftop. So that's why you're seeing things like House Hunters and Unsellable Houses and things like that in this. If you're wondering, the Discovery Plus app is actually still out there and available completely independently of Max. So if you don't really care about the hard-hitting, niche-y sort of things that you get from something like Max, if you don't care about the HBO stuff and the documentaries, you can still stick with all of the things like the cooking shows and home shows and things like that. Otherwise, the home page has the kinds of things you typically expect. As you look further into their up top categories, you'll see what you get when they kind of combine everything all into the same pantry here. You've got the series for you, which is just suggested based on your viewing habits. As you continue to scroll down, you start seeing that the page is kind of, I would say it's a pretty traditional looking app. Their top 10 is going to be based on what it is that people are watching on their app. And then the featured series are just sort of things that they're pushing. So you're going to have a mix of things from HBO and things from Discovery's networks, along with their other TV partners. Now, you might notice as we flip through these different sections, like audio description, for instance, you get this kind of blink of like another category view. I'm not sure what's happening with that. If I remember correctly, that was an older interface. So I don't know if that's just something that the app hasn't fully updated, so it's sort of still hanging on in the background, or if maybe they're going to go with that direction in the end. But I have a feeling as things move on, you'll have one or the other. You know, on your own app, it might not do it at all. Maybe it's just something that's going on here, this on the Roku. But as you see, the categories are all broken down so that you can find things according to what you're looking for. For instance, if you don't remember what channel all of these things are on, like you might not have remembered that Ghost Hunters was a TLC thing, you can find it under the paranormal under series. Movies breaks down much the same way, except in this case, you know, most of the movies are something from HBO and or the Turner Collection. There aren't a whole lot of HGTV original movies, though if I remember correctly, they did have a couple that came out during Christmas. I'm not sure if those are built into this or not. And as you see, as you scroll through, we're still getting that other interface if you let it go for long enough as you flip through. If you're quick about it, the other interface doesn't show up. But once you settle, it boop, pops up there. The HBO section up here is more what you would think of as just HBO, like back when there was only HBO Go or HBO Now. It's all HBO content broken down by the type of content you're looking for. And again, there's the other interface. From here, you can just find, sort of an A to Z feel of the movies that you would find in general if you only had HBO, for instance. But they do work in the things that are also available through Turner, things like, the Die Hard movies, or like we showed before, the silver screen classics. Here in the sports section, this is getting into like some of the new stuff we were talking about. You see here, you can watch the National League Divisional Series games. You can watch hockey. You can watch baseball. You can watch football. And whatever is on. Well, actually, I can't say that you can watch football because I don't know that they have a football contract at the moment. But live sports that are in the properties owned by Warner Brothers Discovery, which include, of course, TBS and TNT, means NBA basketball, NBA playoffs, regular season. It means you're going to get to watch baseball, anything that's on TBS. And so all of this stuff is all put together so that you can find it in this section while they sort of try to up their content by mixing in more stuff from HBO. So it's like the classic trick that a lot of streamers do to make their content libraries larger. But at least you know that if you go into this section, pretty much everything you see is going to be sports focused, even if it isn't all live sports. There's never that many live sports events happening any given time. But it is cool that there's going to be a way to get TNT and TBS sports content through something besides having one of those full-on, cable replacement services. So kudos on that. And if that's your jam, you've now got a major good option for that. And last, we're going to look at this. This is the news section of this. Of course, this is utilizing the power of CNN, which is also a property owned by this company. And what they're doing here is mixing in everything from a live feed of CNN International to news-based content, again, from their overall library. So while Real Time with Bill Maher is not necessarily a CNN show, it is a news-based show. They drop in documentaries from the HBO world and the CNN world. CNN has actually done a whole lot of documentaries, things about the different decades and historical periods. So if you're just looking for a look back here, there's a lot of content on there. And the live feed will give you things along the lines of, the breaking news. Like if you jump in right now, which is October 11th, of course, CNN International is focusing very much on what's happening in Israel right now. And hey, what do you know? It's the menu that keeps popping up in the background. I don't know if this is a sign that they just haven't removed it from this section, or because this is obviously a new section, maybe that is something that they're going to work into the entire app as things move forward. But in general, the new Max look is a pretty substantial upgrade from where it has been. It went from being an HBO app to an HBO with Turner Stuff app, and now it's an HBO with lots of stuff from everything Warner Brothers Discovery owns. And the new live stuff is kind of a difference maker as far as apps go. Now, I don't know if you'll consider it all worth the money in the end. Ad free. It's one of the more expensive streaming services out there. But I think that people are going to start leveraging things a little bit more with commercials, because your sports are going to have commercials anyway. So if you decide that you don't want to maybe pay into one of the larger heavy streaming services like YouTube TV or Hulu with Live TV, but you still want to be able to get some of your favorite sports, if those favorite sports happen to be baseball, hockey, and the NBA, you've got a pretty good option there that you can use to keep up with things, as well as still see 24-hour news so that you don't miss out on any of the breaking stuff from the major networks. All of that with the fun of the HBO content and the addition of reality TV and things from the Discovery networks. So that's Max as of right now. This is 2023. We'll take another look as things update further. I hope you found that helpful. If you did, please subscribe to our channel. Click the bell for more updates as we move along. And as always, I'm Ryan Downey, the Streaming Advisor. Stream on, my friends.